Hello everyone, welcome to another 3D design video brought to you by the Corona Public Library's Maker Exchange. My name is Mr. Martin, and today I'll be showing you how to print those tricky shapes by printing them as multiple pieces. Without further ado, let's get started. As you can see, I've already got TinkerCad open, I've renamed my project Multi-Piece Sample, and my snap grid I have left at 1.0 millimeters. This time we're going to start by inserting a cylinder. This cylinder will help me illustrate what we're trying to do today. Now on its own it'll print just fine, but if we decide to rotate this 90 degrees, you'll notice that there is a shadow now on our work plane. This shadow denotes that if we try and print, we'll have some material hanging over. It may be tough for the printer to actually print this accurately. You'll notice the same thing when we insert the sphere. We have a shadow denoting that we have material essentially floating in midair. The reason we get this is because printers, 3D printers specifically, print from the bottom up. So they print one layer at a time, and we want to avoid having those shadows. So one way we can do this is by splitting our objects and then grouping them later on. For example, if I take two halves of this cylinder now, each half will have no problem printing. We just have to figure out a way to put them together. The easiest way to do so is by creating an extrusion on one half of the object that will fit inside a hole that we create in the other half. So for example, let's insert this cylinder here. Now our goal is to make it just small enough to print, but we want enough to be able to squeeze into the other half of the object. So here I make it about 3 millimeters in diameter. Since we need to create a hole of equal size, I'm going to copy and paste this and just move it over to where I can maneuver it. Now I'm going to drag one over to one half of the object. This one I'm going to use to create the hole, and the other one I'm going to use to create the extrusion. Now I don't want the extrusion necessarily to be on this side, but first we can use the alignment tool to make sure they are both centered on each respective half. Oops, this one decided to go way over there. Alright, let's bring him back over. And now that we have both selected, we can use the alignment tool and make sure they're lined up. So as you can see, several axes are grayed out. That means they are already aligned. So we should be good to go. Remember that you can always use the keyboard arrows to nudge objects in one direction or another according to your snap grid. And you can also change the snap grid to be more precise as you need it and simply change it back. So here we have one object that is now creating a hole in one half. So we're going to shrink it down to where we actually want it to go. In this case, it'll create the hole on the, in this case, the bottom side of this half. And same with the extrusion. We want it to fit inside there, so we simply have to drag it down. So this is a good use of the snap grid here. You can simply, again, use the keyboard arrows to make sure that they're both the same length from the bottom surface here, just to ensure that they'll fit. Now you see this extrusion is just a little too long, but if we rotate this and move it on over, you get a nice idea of what we're trying to do here. If we were to print this, we would likely have to sand down the extrusion in order to get it to fit inside the hole. But that is something we can deal with after we have printed it. So here you get a great idea of what we are trying to do, and you also notice that our extrusion is too large. Luckily, we can always undo any mistakes that we've made. But ultimately, we end up with the cylinder that's very much like our original cylinder. But in this case, we printed it in a way where there is no overhanging material. So to give you a better idea here, we're going to actually just shrink this a little and move it over. So just simply rotate it and we're going to move it over, or we can place the other one up top. You'll notice that once I start moving these objects, those shadows come back. That's a good warning for any potential printing problems. But alas, there is our cylinder yet again. And this time we don't have any extrusions coming out of the top. So there you get a great idea of what we're trying to do and how we can go about doing it. We're not limited in the amount of extrusions or holes that we create, so we can do whatever works best for our unique object. Those of you with a keen eye, or if you've been following along our videos so far, you'll also notice, wait a minute, Mr. Martin, that necessarily won't work either. Printing the extrusion introduces other complications with the print. And to that I say you are correct. So let's copy and paste our hole that we've created. And now we're going to duplicate this hole on both sides. So one way to go about it is to simply cut out the hole from one object and then copy and paste it. But in this case, since we are teaching the process and not simply the procedure here, I'm going to actually do it one by one. So in case you ever needed to position these in a separate place, or if you needed to add more for a larger object, you'd know how to do it individually. So again, we can use the alignment tool when necessary, just to make sure it is centered. And here I did it for each pair of each object in the pair. And same as we did before, just make sure you are extruding enough material from the middle. Now, since we are printing again from the bottom up here, the printer should be able to print this correctly, even though we technically do have material overhanging from that core that we're cutting out. It is within the specifications of the printer to actually be able to layer that properly. So now we are left with our single connector with two places with which to connect it to. So we can easily print all three of these objects as they are, and let me show you how they would go about connecting. So once we print these three pieces, you'd be able to simply slide them together and create a nice solid connection. And once again, we see that we have our original cylinder shape, but we've created it in a way where it avoids some potential printing problems. And you can connect way more than just two halves of a cylinder, which we'll get to in a bit. But here, it's a good idea just to make sure your objects fit nicely and that you won't have any material extruding. So, for example, let's say you are trying to create an action figure of sorts. Well, we can pretend that this large cylinder here is our body or our neck. Now, in order to place a head on this neck, we actually have to create our extrusion or our connector first. So we can copy paste the cylinder and create that material to extrude. If we were to center this, you will notice that we should be able to print it as is once we group these two objects. We're simply layering more material on top of existing material. Let's make sure to align it first so that we get our print just right. And there we have a centered object. So, next step, after we've adjusted this just a little bit, is to insert our sphere. So now I've grouped what will end up being the bottom piece here. And by holding Shift and dragging on the corner, I can grow the sphere with the same aspect ratio. So let's go ahead and center the other object we've created. This will be our hole. And you'll notice it disappears within our object. So I can just undo here, shrink it down, make sure to create a hole first before you can't click on it anymore. And we're simply going to realign it in the center. So this time I'm not going to align it and make sure it is centered vertically. I want the extrusion hanging on the bottom. And now that I've had that, I can either align these two objects since I did group the first set, or I can simply use the keyboard keys to nudge it over. Now, as you can see, once we've printed this, again, the hole that we created, or the core cut out from the sphere, should be able to print since it's not too big of a gap. And if I create a hole or if I use the whole option on the whole sphere, you can see right through it and see that our extrusion does indeed fit. And there we have the two pieces connected. And real quick, let me just show you how you would get it to fit slightly better than simply putting a sphere on top of a cylinder. Now, if we drag this down and actually use the hole tool here, notice I have already copied and pasted my sphere. So after I group these two objects and create a nice round surface, I can simply reinsert that same sphere, and now we have what should be a perfect fit. Now, given the tolerances of the 3D printer, you won't always be able to get a curve so precise, but it'll fit better than simply a round surface on top of a flat surface. But there you go. You now have the knowledge that you need to go about creating some very complex multi-object prints. Again, action figures is a good start, but the options are quite literally limitless. So that does it for today's quick tutorial. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.